Well, let's switch gears just a bit and talk about another celebrity, Hulk Hogan, who suddenly passed away from a sudden heart attack last week. He was 71.
And some breaking news this afternoon, we're now learning that a heart attack caused the death of pro wrestling legend Hulk Hogan.
On July 24th, 2025, the world said goodbye to an icon. Hulk Hogan, born Terry Gene Bollea, wasn't just a wrestler, he was a movement. With a booming voice, a signature mustache, and enough charisma to fill a stadium, Hogan became the face of professional wrestling and a symbol of strength, resilience, and showmanship. But behind the muscles and megawatt smile was a life full of pain, redemption, and unforgettable triumphs. This is the incredible legacy of Hulk Hogan, his rise, his falls, and the millions he inspired along the way. If you grew up watching Hulk Hogan, or if you believe legends never truly die, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who still remembers the roar of Hulkamania. Every subscriber keeps this legacy alive and helps us buy more coffee to keep telling stories like this one. A hero is born. Terry Gene Bollea was born on August 11, 1953, in Augusta, Georgia. But his roots quickly settled in Port Tampa, Florida, where he grew up in a modest but loving home. His father, Peter, worked in construction, while his mother, Ruth, taught dance. Terry's mixed heritage, Italian, Panamanian, Scottish, and French, gave him a rich cultural background. But what truly defined him was his boundless energy and a hunger for greatness. As a kid, Terry loved baseball and music. He played bass in several Florida rock bands, most notably Ruckus, which became a local hit. But destiny had other plans. One day, while training at Hector's gym, his impressive build caught the eye of wrestling legends Jack and Gerald Briscoe. They introduced him to famed trainer Hiro Matsuda. Hogan's first training session ended with a broken leg, but rather than quitting, he came back even stronger. The fire had been lit. Hulkamania is born. By 1979, Terry had transformed into Hulk Hogan, an unstoppable force in the ring. Inspired by wrestling greats like Dusty Rhodes and Billy Graham, Hogan combined brute strength with theatrical flair. His charisma was magnetic. His message was simple but powerful. Train, say your prayers, and eat your vitamins. In 1984, Hogan defeated the Iron Sheik to win his first WWF championship, and Hulkamania exploded across America. He became a cultural juggernaut, headlining 8 of the first 9 WrestleMania events. The iconic showdown with Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3 remains one of the most watched wrestling matches in history. But Hogan's power wasn't confined to the ring. He brought pro wrestling into the mainstream, appearing in cartoons, movies, and talk shows. To millions, he wasn't just a wrestler, he was a superhero in real life. Hollywood Hogan and the NWO Shocker. Just when fans thought they had seen everything, Hogan pulled off one of the biggest twists in wrestling history. In 1996, during his WCW run, he shocked the world by turning heel and forming the New World Order alongside Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Gone was the red and yellow hero. In his place stood a rebellious villain clad in black and white. It was a bold reinvention, and it worked. The NWO revitalized his career and helped WCW dominate during the legendary Monday Night Wars. Once again, Hogan had proven he wasn't just a wrestler. He was the pulse of the industry. Life beyond the ring. While Hogan's wrestling persona was larger than life, his personal life was far more human. In 1983, he married Linda Claridge. They had 2 children, Brooke and Nick, and invited cameras into their lives with the reality TV show Hogan Knows Best. It painted a picture of a tight-knit, sometimes chaotic, but always loving family. But behind the smiles were struggles. Their marriage ended in 2007 amid rumors of infidelity. The divorce took a heavy financial toll. Hogan lost 70% of his liquid assets, $3 million in property, and 40% of his business interests. He later admitted to spending hundreds of millions during his peak fame. much of it on an extravagant lifestyle. Still, he found love again with Jennifer McDaniel, marrying her in 2010, only to part ways in 2022. Then, in 2023, he found peace and companionship with yoga instructor Sky Daly. The two married in a quiet, heartfelt ceremony in September that year. Faith, pain, and rebirth. Through the highs and lows, Hogan held on to something deeper, his faith. Saved at just 14 years old, he leaned on his relationship with Christ during his darkest moments. In 2007, he credited God with helping him survive emotional turmoil and even suicidal thoughts. In 2023, he reaffirmed his faith with a public baptism at Indian Rocks Baptist Church in Florida. And the pain wasn't just emotional. Years of wrestling left his body battered. Hogan underwent numerous surgeries, including a spinal fusion in 2010 that finally gave him relief. In 2013, he filed a $50 million lawsuit against a spine clinic for botched treatments. But through it all, he kept going, walking tall even when it hurt. The business of being Hulk Hogan. Hogan was also a savvy businessman, or at least a bold one. He launched everything from restaurants like Hogan's Beach and Hogan's Hangout to energy drinks and frozen burgers. His face was on everything from vitamins to lunchboxes, and he was featured in over 170 action figures. But not every venture was a slam dunk. He famously turned down the George Foreman grill endorsement, a decision that reportedly cost him tens of millions. Instead, he promoted a meatball maker. Still, the brand of Hulk Hogan lived on. Because whether in plastic, on TV, or in the ring, fans couldn't get enough of him. Silver screen and small screen legend. Hogan didn't just conquer the ring, he brought his charisma to Hollywood, debuting as Thunder Lips in Rocky III. From there, he starred in cult classics like No Holds Barred, Suburban Commando, Mr. Nanny, and the TV show Thunder in Paradise. He later transitioned to reality TV and even appeared in nostalgic cameos, like his 2019 appearance on The Goldbergs. Whether acting tough or playing himself, Hogan had the rare gift of connecting with people on and off the screen. The final bell. In 2025, the final bell rang for Hulk Hogan. He passed away peacefully from cardiac arrest at his home in Clearwater, Florida. Just a month earlier, he had undergone spinal surgery. His wife, Sky, assured fans that there were no major complications, and his death came suddenly but quietly. Emergency responders arrived quickly, but the icon couldn't be saved. He was 71 years old. A legacy that lives forever. Hulk Hogan left behind an estate worth $25 million, down from the heights of his stardom but still reflective of his enormous success. Much of that fortune came from his infamous lawsuit against Gawker, which was initially awarded at $140 million before being settled for $31 million. But numbers don't define Hogan's legacy. What matters is the inspiration, the memories, the energy he gave every time he stepped into the ring or onto a screen. From bringing joy to sick children through the Make-A-Wish Foundation to lifting millions of fans with his larger-than-life presence, Hogan proved that real strength comes not just from muscle, but from heart. Farewell to a champion. He was the immortal, the icon, the one who told us to believe in ourselves, to fight hard, and to never give up. Hulk Hogan wasn't perfect. He made mistakes. He stumbled, but in the end, he always stood back up. And now he rests, forever remembered, forever celebrated, and forever a champion in the hearts of those who believed in the power of Hulkamania. Drop a rest in peace in the comments if Hulk Hogan was your hero. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories that keep the legends alive. Thanks for watching, and remember, legends never die. They just body slam their way into eternity. See you on the next video.